Welcome to The Real Build. I'm your host, Bill Reiman, your broker builder. And today I got a special guest coming from Houston, Texas. He's a proud co-owner of the thriving food truck building company and the supporter of not only his own four children, but also kids in his native country of Nicaragua, where he founded a baseball academy, which we're going to get into on that too. His goal in life was to make an impact, especially in the life of Nicaraguan boys and children that play baseball. He says, my ultimate dream was to play baseball. So that's why I support a baseball academy. And by support, I mean economically and financially. He made it a mission to help this academy so that they can give kids the opportunity to sign with Major League Baseball teams, which I think is awesome. I'm a baseball fan. He also runs Helping Kids Round First, a nonprofit for provisioning baseball equipment for kids, efficient solar power, and hands-on farming, medical equipment, and daycare assists. He is also a podcast host of the Working for a Dream podcast. Go check that out. We'll get into that about the hard work and hustle it takes to build an empire. Patrick Bolanos, welcome to The Real Build. How you doing, brother?
What's up, Bill? Thanks for having me on, man. I'm excited to be here, bro.
No, I'm excited to have you on. I mean, you're in such a niche business too, and we're definitely, that's what this podcast is all about. I've had a ton of builders on. I've had tiny home builders. I haven't had somebody in your field, which I'm excited. I've had custom homes, commercial builders. So we're gonna touch on that, and also, you know, some of the great things you're doing in the baseball, you know, with these kids in Nicaragua, and you're back in your home town, and yeah, man, I'm excited to have you on, so I appreciate it. And Absolutely. With that being said, who is Patrick Bolanos?
I don't think nobody's ever asked that question like that before, man. Wow. Like, man, who do I want people when somebody asks, hey, who's Patrick Bolanos? Man, you know what? I wanted to say that was a fucking good guy right there. A guy that gets shit done, and a guy that looks out for other people and builds others. You know, we're on the Real Build podcast. I want to help build other people's dreams. And so I'll give you a quick backstory. I am from Nicaragua. My family on both sides are from Nicaragua, but on my dad's side, my grandmother's American. And so I do have American ties. We're tied to St. Louis, Missouri. I'm a huge Cardinals fan. We jumped back and forth between Nicaragua and the US when I was younger. If you're not familiar with Nicaragua, Bill, we went through a civil war in the middle of 1979. I was born that year. Then the Sandinistas took over. They're a communist regime. They expropriated properties. They stole other people's shit. Our family was, you know, well off to say, I don't want to say like we were super wealthy, but we had small businesses. My grandparents and his brothers, they managed stuff, and that was taken from them back in the late 70s, middle 80s. They had to rebuild. So I come from a family of hardworking people. I was raised to go to school, to get a degree, and to do the corporate job thing, and I did it. I raised the corporate ladder. I went up the corporate ladder. I made it all the way to VP of commercial banking for Citibank. For Nicaragua. I helped build the actual commercial business for Citibank in Nicaragua. Citibank for me was one of the greatest schools that I've ever been to learn business, because when you're a commercial lender in Citibank, you have to know your shit. But, you know, I was a guy that was helping people get millions in loans. And then I left Nicaragua. I became a CFO of a restaurant here in Houston almost, 7 years ago. And I was managing a $25 million budget, but I wasn't satisfied and I wasn't fulfilled. And I couldn't even manage my own home budget, bro, to be honest. You know, I had debt. I was living paycheck to paycheck. I had a pretty good salary, you know, 6 figures, health insurance paid for, a lot of good things, but I was overweight. I wasn't satisfied. I was not happy. My marriage probably, man, I'm so glad my wife still stuck with me, because if she wouldn't have stuck with me for everything that we went through, we wouldn't be where we are today. And there was one moment in my life that helped change everything. And that moment was the day I got fired from my job as a CFO. I kind of, how do you say it? That hand that I was dealt, it was on I created it. I basically pushed the hand and I spoke up for something that I didn't think was right. And they got me fired a week before Christmas, 2017. Imagine having a family of four. You know, I had a newborn baby, my son Gabriel, he was like 2 months old, let's say 6 months old. And then 2 other children, my wife, we're a family of 5 then, shit. And I didn't know where I was going to get money for rent the following month, bro. It was the middle of Christmas. I had to borrow $800 from my sister to go visit her for Christmas that year.
Wow.
It was a Christmas vacation that was already planned for. And I called her. I was like, listen, I just got to let go from my job. I don't have any money. She's like, don't worry about it. I'll let you borrow the money. And that's when everything changed, bro. I still remember crying in my car. I had a Honda Civic. I was a CFO of a $25 million restaurant group. So something didn't, you know, I was like, it just didn't add up. Like I was living paycheck to paycheck, but I was managing 4 different units that each did like $4 million, $5 million. And I was responsible for that. And so all that stuff like created, I was someone that was not living to my fullest potential, and you could tell. And everything changed after that happened. And I just started asking myself better questions. And one of the better questions that I started asking myself is, where do I go from here? Right? Like, what am I here for? What can I do to get out of this situation? And one of the first things I did was I went to get a catering gig because I needed to make money. So I did that first. And then opportunities just started to present themselves, right? I got the opportunity to sell food trucks for another company. They offered me $1,000 for every truck that I would sell. It took me 2 days to sell my first truck. You know, when your back's against the wall and you got to get shit done, you just go. So that's what I did. And there was an opportunity to start building the trucks, start a concession trailer company, which we did. It's called Trailer King Builders, which I co-own and I co-founded with my business partners. And we started from the front lawn of his house, building 1 unit at a time.
Wow.
And learning from others, learning from people like you, learning from people that we are around with, learning from people in different masterminds that I've joined. I've learned how to market. I've learned how to scale. I've learned how to create culture. I've learned how to build people up. And so everything changed the moment I started paying attention to what I was listening to who I was hanging around with, and my daily actions, and everything's changed ever since. And that's me in a nutshell, bro. With, you know, missing a few things here and there, but
I mean, it's an amazing story too. Coming from Nicaragua and going into, obviously, we're all sold that college experience. We all sold that we should be going to college. You need to go to, and every parent says that I want to put my kids through college, so on. I went to college, same thing, sold that whole thing. What I'm doing now, I don't need college for at all, you know, and it's funny how that works out. I mean, of course I've learned stuff, you know, but college is better, you know, you get your bachelor's in partying more than anything. And it's like, you know, but it's, you're sold that constantly, you're sold that bill of goods constantly. And then you get out and then you're barely making it. You're just barely making enough to get by. And then you have the student loans, you have all this debt that you got to pay off of too. And I'm not against anybody going to college. You want to go to college, you can go to college, but there is other avenues that you can go to and work your way up like you did. I mean, you had to go through those experiences. You ended up getting fired from a company, and then you started from nothing, working your way up, figuring it out, learning, building or selling food trucks, learning how each and every component is. I actually went into car sales when I got out of college. I was broke. You know, I was living at my parents' house, no money. I went into college because my sister's boyfriend, or went into car sales because my sister's boyfriend was selling them. He's like, you want to make good money? I can get you a job. I was like, you know, here I am 20 years old in a pack of wolves of old guys, slick back hair, you know, and I had no clue what the hell I was doing, but I figured it out. And
absolutely.
And that helped me learn a lot to where I'm at now, especially on the sales end too, but also having those experiences and willing to learn and joining those getting mentors and so on, like you said, which is so important. You know, one thing I'm against is you're a Cardinals fan. I'm a Cubs fan. So I had to bring that one up there real quick, too. Even though the Cubs suck, they sold off their whole entire team now. So, you
That's
guys,
back to normal again. Yes. We're
yeah,
back to normal.
another 100 years on that one, right? So, but no, I can appreciate you, man, because you came from a hardworking family. I come from a blue collar family. I was literally raised that I had to work. That's the only way. If you want something, you got to work for it, but you got to figure out a lot of stuff on the way. So I appreciate you with that too. I want to touch on too, also, because you didn't get into this, and then we'll get into what you're currently doing with building the trailers. Let's talk about the amazing things you're doing with helping kids, man, because this is huge too. Like we just brushed on baseball and so on. How did you get into this? It's so important and what you're doing. I see it on your Instagram too. I mean, you're doing big things and I love it. So let's talk about that.
All right. Yeah, for sure. So Helping Kids Round First is a nonprofit. It's based in Sioux Falls. I am on the board of directors. And so it basically, like, again, I shared with you that I started asking myself better questions. And so one of the questions that I started asking myself close to 7 years ago was, how can I leave an impact on this earth? And when was I the happiest in my life? And I kept going back to growing up in Nicaragua among very impoverished children that lived next to our house. We weren't poor, we had running water, electricity, air conditioning. And right behind our house, literally like a block, 2 blocks behind it, was pretty much like a ghetto style area where kids lived in houses made out of shacks, materials like trash. And so those were my friends going up, and so during the summers, I would hang out with these kids all freaking day. We would go hunting. But the thing that kept us happy and kept us busy the whole summer was playing baseball, dude. We played baseball from 9 a.m. till the fucking sun went down. And we grew up this way. We grew up playing baseball the whole freaking time. And I kept going back to that after I kept asking myself that question. It's like, damn, I got to do something related to baseball. And so I Googled back in 2017, early 2018, I Googled and I said, bringing baseball equipment to Nicaragua. And I hit that on Google, I hit enter, and bam, a little nonprofit in Sioux Falls, South Dakota popped up called Helping Kids Round First. It's amazing because you never know, like in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, there's people related, like are doing things that you want to do and related to the country that you want to help. And so I wrote the president, his email was on the website. I wrote him an email and I basically said, listen, I gave him my backstory. I'm passionate about baseball. I love baseball. I want to be able to help. And he wrote me back and he said, hey, are you free in about an hour? I'm going to give you a call. Boom. We talked on the phone. We were on the phone for 2 hours. And he's older than I am. He's in his mid 60s. He's an awesome guy. His name is Craig Sievertson. We get along great. He's one of my best friends. And we just have a common mission. And our common mission is to help people in Nicaragua. He started it through baseball. And so we just signed with Major League Baseball's RBI program. Oh, nice. So we're helping kids, bringing them uniforms. But one of the best things to do when we can, because COVID threw a wrench into the whole thing, is actually bringing baseball equipment and distributing it around the country to these kids that don't have anything to play with. I mean, the baseballs are made out of socks. The gloves are made out of milk cartons. It's when you give a kid a used baseball and a used glove in Nicaragua, it's as if they were top of the line, brand new freaking baseball glove. And so that reaction is priceless. And so that's why we do what we do. And then that led to being involved in a baseball academy. The baseball academy is not related to Helping Kids Round First in terms of the baseball academy is a for-profit organization that we created where we help kids that have the talent and we help develop them so that they can sign with Major League Baseball. You can sign as young as 16 in the international markets. And so we just had 2 kids sign a couple of weeks ago. Wow. And basically they get a signing bonus. And once they get a signing bonus, these kids are plucked out of Nicaragua and they're taken to Dominican Republic, where they're developed to see if they can make it as a Major League Baseball player. And so I provide funding. We provide nutrition. We provide anything that we can to help them get there. So we're developing about 2 or 3 kids a year. We want to be the premier baseball academy in Nicaragua. And slowly but surely, we're getting better at it every day. We're making better relationships. Our network is growing. And so we're really excited of where it's going. Really hard to work in a third world country run by communists.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it is what it is, but we got to make do with what we got.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's amazing. And at the end too, I'll have you kind of shout out, or actually right now, shout out where somebody can find that or donate to it or help out with that cause too, because it is so amazing.
If you want to donate to the nonprofit, so we take donations for the nonprofit, and if you want it to be used for baseball, just make sure you select the baseball portion of it because it allows you to use it for other things. But it's helpingkidsroundfirst.org.
Cool. I'll check that out too for sure, man. So getting into what you do now, obviously everything you're doing is amazing, but getting into the trailer building, let's go into that a little bit more. You brushed on how you got into it, but let's go deeper into that. So sure. Why that industry? I mean, I've had a tiny home builder on here. You could have probably gotten into that industry, but you chose the food truck industry, which is huge. It's blowing up now. So what really got you into that? Why'd you make that choice? And how's it going with that now?
Okay. It chose me, first of all. I didn't choose it. It was an opportunity to sell food trucks. And then we noticed there's an opportunity, just like in most industries that are in manufacturing and building, there's more people doing it I don't want to say like the industry is just weird, there's thousands of manufacturers out there, and there's people that they're not delivering on what they promised. And that was happening to us. We were going out and brokering these deals and selling, and shit wasn't getting done the right way. And we just decided, you know what? We don't like the quality of work. Let's just do it ourselves. And so after I got fired, I got the opportunity because this was just to make money, right? This was just so I could sustain my family. I was just trying to make a living, dude. I was just trying to feed my kids, right? And I actually raised money from friends and family. As a CFO of a restaurant group, I learned how to raise money for them. I raised capital through crowdfunding. I've raised capital through an SBA loan, which was about $2.5 million. And one of the things that we were going to do is start a fast casual restaurant. My ex-business partner gave me the opportunity, and he said, if you raise the money for this unit, you get to keep half and we'll run it together. I said, fuck yeah, let's go. So I built a little deck for it, and we raised 75 grand. We actually turned away 25,000 because all we needed was 50, but we raised 75. We got commitments for 75,000 bucks. And at the same time, I was selling food trucks. At the same time, we were coming up with another idea. And then we just decided, you know what? Let's talk to our investors. Maybe they'll let us use the funds for a food truck manufacturing company. Now, the capital that I used and that I raised wasn't a equity. So they didn't own equity in our business. All it was a loan, which they got paid back in 2 years. And so we also help teach people in the food truck industry how to raise capital. So that's really off tangent, but that's how I started. And that's how we started the business. We used the funds to get started. And then slowly but surely, we just started investing in marketing. We started investing in our people. We got a new location. Dude, we were operating outside in the summer heat, and it's nowhere near as comfortable as it is now. And our people still stayed. And I don't know, it's just, we created a team that really stayed with us. And I would build a dream every single day. I would tell the guys, listen, guys, we're going to be the biggest food truck manufacturing company in the US. If you stick with us, you're coming along for the ride. And we're not there yet, but we're going to get there. That's our mission. Our mission is to be the largest food truck manufacturer in the world. But no, let me rephrase that. Our mission is to help families become financially independent through the food truck industry.
Yeah, I love that, man, because it is so important. Food trucks they're obviously popular as can be right now. It's such a more friendly approach to obviously having a restaurant. You're mobile, you can move it around, you can go to bigger destinations where you can get more people and crowds. It's smart. and then you just never think about, all right, who builds them? You know, you never, it's like, who's behind this product? Who's, you know, you kind of, if you first look at them, they look like just a big ice cream truck that, you know, they converted with a cooktop in them. And so, you know, but, and it's actually the detail that goes in them too, is pretty amazing what you're doing and putting in them and so on. Let's talk about that a little bit. So, you know, let's talk about the different ones you're building, different product you're building, the detail, like what goes into building a food truck, just so the audience knows.
Man, that's a great question. There's 1,000 moving parts per build.
I bet.
So we customize every single build out, you know. Every customer that comes through our door gets to pick and choose the equipment they want to use, the size of a trailer or truck that they want us to find them or build out for them. We're actually working on a school bus right now. It's 40 feet long. Nice. We're converting it into a 40-foot kitchen.
Wow.
And every build out is different. Every single build out is different. We build 300 different build outs a year. So imagine that millions of moving parts for each. And so we've created some exceptional partnerships with our vendors. They've helped us get organized, understand manufacturing. I wasn't in manufacturing, bro. I was a CFO guy. I studied management information systems. Maybe I had a little bit of background in processes and procedures as a Six Sigma green belt, but I had no idea how to source, how to make sure that the manufacturing process stays the most efficient. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So we've built a team, and our team members have pretty much built themselves in terms of learning on how to be more efficient. And, you know, we're learning every day, dude.
Yeah.
350 units a year. We're still nowhere near where we want to be. And we realize that. And so all we do is we can just be better every single day.
So what do you start? You just start with the core, you know, basically let's talk about the process a little bit of from start to finish. I know obviously there's different parts and pieces to everything. So let's start from, you know, say I'm coming in, I got a restaurant idea that I want, or a food truck idea. How's your process go? Just so people know from start to finish, you know, where does this thing start? Is it just truck rolls in on wheels, you go to town inside, or are you doing the whole entire truck?
So what we do is first we want to understand where you're at in the process, right? Okay. Everybody that walks through our door has a dream of owning a food truck or concession trailer. Mm-hmm. So there is no sales process here. We're building dreams. And so, Bill, you want to build a food truck. Okay. What do you want to do? Then you come out and you're like, I want to build a macaroni and cheese food truck selling macaroni cheese balls and all macaroni and cheese. Awesome. That sounds like a great idea. Are you passionate about macaroni and cheese? I freaking love macaroni and cheese. And so then we go and we understand, okay, what's it going to take to build your menu? And then you tell me, I need 2 fryers. I need a flat top. I need a place to hold some stuff warm. Perfect. What kind of experience do you want your customers to have? Do you want like a full wrap? Do you want TVs? Do you want a stereo system, PA system? What kind of experience are you looking to do? Okay, they tell us, and then, all right, what's your budget? X. Perfect. This is what we can do within this budget. This is what I suggest the route that we go. Now, you want all the bells and whistles? We can go as far as, let's say it's $50,000. You can get as high as $150,000 on a food truck if you want to. Do you want to? You don't want, I think that's out of my budget. You know, let's figure out a way to hone it down. I want to be open at around $50,000. Perfect. Here are your options. You can get a used truck. We can get a trailer, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This is what it's going to take. Do you need financing? And they're going to be like, yes, I want to finance half of it, or I want to finance a third. Okay. Then we start understanding how their credit is. It's just like building a home for somebody. Like, you know, you go out and you see what budget they have, and you see where they fit in, and where we can help them. And it's basically, we're helping you get your business started. But we don't end there. Like, we don't give you a unit and then we hand you a mobile business. We're going to connect you to our accountant. We're going to connect you to our bookkeepers. We're going to connect you to everybody that can help your business grow. We have a team of videographers and content managers to help build your Instagram. We have a course on on how to use Facebook and how to use Instagram for your food truck. So we're actually giving you the tools to help build your business if you need them. If you don't need them, then, you know, it's there, but you don't have to use them if you don't want to.
That's unbelievable, because you're taking it even further. I mean, and I can relate, obviously, being custom home builder and so on. Obviously, I'm not dealing with the business end of things, but you know, the selections, all that, building within a budget, and I could relate to you there. And you're taking it beyond that by, okay, here's how you can have a successful business if you listen to us, let us market it, let us do this, which is awesome, because you're continuing that relationship after too, which I always talk about on this show, and how important that is continuing the relationship, keeping these people literally top of mind with you throughout the process. And they're going to continuously be top of mind. And then they're going to promote you to their friends once their business is successful too. It's all word of mouth, which is the best marketing you can possibly have for yourself too. I mean, that's awesome what you're doing. It's Thanks. A great idea.
We have a Facebook group with 25,000 plus members.
Wow.
It's called Food Trucks and Trailers Tips and Tricks. And it's basically a community where I don't really sell in there. I go live almost every day just to show people what we're working on, because there's nothing better than actually seeing the behind the scenes of something getting built out, so that if you, Bill, had an idea, it's already there. I'm trying to create that thought process, or that I'm trying to show you the possibilities of what you can get. You don't have to get it from us, but come see the possibilities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's and when you say you're making a dream a reality too, it's huge, because you really are. You're creating somebody's lifeline is what you're building. It's somebody's way to provide for their family, like you had to too, which is amazing. On top of like what, you know, relating to me on the custom home world, we're making a dream come true with their visualized home, you know, on the luxury end with these homes. It's something they've thought of forever. They've worked their asses off for, and we want to over deliver on each and every home, because we don't want that experience to be a bad one. We want that experience to be the best experience ever. So when they get the keys, they're smiling. Yeah. And it's the same with you.
Yeah, exactly. And we're not perfect, man. We're far from perfect. Like, we have made mistakes.
Yeah.
We're going to own the mistakes, you know, and we're going to fix it wherever we can. And we're just we're a company that cares, bro, about what we do, which is really hard to find in this industry.
Yeah. Brush on that a little bit more though. I mean, obviously caring goes a long way, and obviously building using the materials you use and so on. Let's talk about quality. Let's talk about how are you different than the competition.
So we buy trailers built in the USA only.
Nice.
Our concession trailers, for example, are built to hold the weight of a kitchen. We don't convert cargo trailers. We actually had the frame design to hold the weight of a kitchen. There's a certain design element that comes to buying a trailer, for example, which is what we sell most, because the truck, I can't change a FedEx truck. It's already built. You know, that was built by either Ford or Freightliner or whoever built it. So I buy it, I convert it. But I can't affect the interior and the exterior and how it looks. But on a trailer, for example, I can go buy a cargo trailer and convert it and sell it to you. But that's not going to sit right with me, because I know it's not going to last long. I know it's not going to be a quality piece of investment for you. So we have it built from scratch. We have it built to our specific requirements, and we don't deviate from that. If you want to save money, we're not the company for you. If you want to save money on how high it is interior, I'm not going to change the height interior, only if you want it higher. So ours are 7.5 foot interior height. We don't go any lower. We can go higher. You want it 7 foot wide. I don't do 7 foot wide. We only do 8.5. Why? There's more space. Yeah, it takes more money, but the business, you're going to know and you're going to learn that once you're in this business, space is a commodity in a food truck. You want more space. And so we've learned that from building, I don't know, thousands already. And then we pay a lot of attention to the details of the interior. And when it comes down to the angles that we use and how it's put together and how much silicone goes into covering up every single hole, or how you cut a piece of aluminum angle and you make sure that you round out the edges so people don't get hurt and that kind of stuff. So There's a lot of attention that goes into the process that we've learned along the way. Like before, when we first started, our edges were all messed up, dude. But that's when we went in and we saw, you know what, we can do this better. And we started getting better. We started buying better equipment. And we invest heavily in making sure that we can increase the quality of work.
Well, and that's why you get a higher end price too. And we saw ourselves that's the same exact way you're saying. As you build, you learn more better. You learn better processes. You learn how to please the client more and so on. The more product and more things you do. Mm-hmm. But obviously, where you stand out, and I can just hear your passion, and this the listeners will be able to hear your passion behind your voice too. Is that you do expect a quality product. You do expect, okay, I want the angles cut perfectly. If it's not cut perfectly, we'll do it right, or we're gonna have to do it again. And that's a difference maker right there with you, big time. Because when you get to that level of mindset and building, because not a lot of in especially in like custom home world or just production home, whatever, in your field as well, it's just people say, all right, it's good enough, we're gonna make the money, let's move on to the next one. And then
we don't like to cut corners.
And that's the difference maker about you too.
Thanks, appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like you got so many people, and that's what's going to stand you out. That's why you're going to be number one in your field, because you are making a difference. You're not cutting the corners. You're doing it right. People got to pay a little bit more money for quality, and that's how you're selling yourself too.
Absolutely.
So let's go deeper. So in your mission statement, I pulled this from your site. We provide opportunity for entrepreneurs to visualize and design their ideal mobile kitchen and make their dream a reality. I like, obviously this is so important. We talked about this already. Let's go into this deeper a little bit more. Like how, as far as customer satisfaction, obviously you're continuing the relationships through your social media classes and so on. How else? What about warranty? What about stuff like that? What are you doing there?
Oh man. We even own the shit that wasn't our problem. For example, we just delivered a trailer to a customer out in Memphis, Tennessee. We have video evidence of how good it looked when we handed it off to the transportation company. The transportation company fucked it up. Whoever delivered that trailer, on the way there, they ran a curb. They were probably speeding. So everything in the trailer shifted. A flat grill flew off its base. That never happens. Those flat grills are put on with forklifts. Like, it takes a ton of force to get that thing moving. And so we knew from the moment that they told us that the flat grill was on the floor, the top of the flat grill, that something must have happened during the transportation process. And my first thought, we got to get it fixed. This guy wants to open his business. He's not open for business. So I didn't really I let the transportation company know, but I sent my guys out there the following day.
Wow.
4 people the following day cost us, I don't know, $5,000 in materials and labor over the weekend to go get something fixed that was out of our control, and it was not our responsibility. That I could have said, we have to handle it through insurance. We have to handle it through the transportation company. They have to let their insurance company know. We can't do anything until you get your quotes and the insurance company lets you have. No. That's the difference, man. They're not going to find another company that is going to act. They might find another one, but they're few and far between. But we will go out to wherever is needed if it's our duty to do so. Right? There are certain things that we cannot do. But we will own our mistakes, and we will own our ability to make a difference, especially if whatever happened was our fault. This wasn't our fault, obviously, but we knew this gentleman needs his trailer open. He's not going to be able to find anybody to do the work that he needs to get done over in Memphis, Tennessee. Mm-hmm. So we sent our guys out the following day, literally the Friday. He showed me the pictures of what it looked like. And by the end of the day, I told him, look, they're leaving tomorrow at 8 a.m. They'll be there tomorrow. And they were there. And they got the job done. They came back on Monday.
Well, I mean, for those of you that are listening, you want the secret to success, right there. There's your answer right there, above and beyond for sure, man. Because that's what you're doing, 100%. And I have the same outlook. Similar things happen all the time. I get customers that call me stuff that's really out of our hands, but still, I'll make an appearance, try and help them no matter what, and take my time to do so too. I had a guy, he had an issue with putting down his hurricane shutters the other day. This was Saturday, and we had that tropical storm that was coming through. It didn't really do anything. Don't let the media fool you, but it was coming, and he was all stressed out. I went over there, I fixed the shutters for him. I didn't have to go by there, but I did. It's just doing the small things, and obviously in your case right there was a big thing, but big or little, doing the right thing, obviously that's what's going to keep you on top for sure, man. So
and every day, Bill, it's something new, brother. When you have this many moving parts, you have people that don't like, you have people that will teach them how to use their trailer. And on a Saturday night at 11, if somebody's calling me at Saturday night, 11 p.m., I know it's probably, an emergency.
Yeah.
Well, I'll pick up the phone. And the left hand side of my trailer doesn't light up. And it's basically just understanding how it works. We'll walk them through it. It can get frustrating. It can be something that can hold you down. It can be something that very easily I could complain about, go online and start bitching about my clients, but I don't, because I choose to do this. I choose to, and the one thing that helps a lot is I choose to invest in myself heavily. I work out in the mornings. I get up super early. I go to jiu-jitsu. I read books. Join masterminds. It helps me stay at ease.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, one thing you said there too, the biggest part right there is I pick up the phone. That's one thing you said right there, because not a lot of people are willing to do what you just said.
If I'm awake, I'm usually in bed by 10.
Yeah, I mean, if it's 1 a.m. or 2 a.m., they're kind of
you're gonna be SOL because I'm asleep, bro, and I have it on do not disturb.
That thing's on silent. Yeah, I agree with you, but it's like that's the difference maker right there, brothers. You're actually taking the time to pick up the phone, answer their questions, and kind of walk them through it too. And not a lot of people are willing to do that.
That's right.
That's the thing. There's your difference maker right there. Let's talk about real quick your turnaround times, and then I'll get into some personal questions to wrap this up. But what's your turnaround time look like as far as creating a trailer? And then I got another question about affordability and as far as somebody looking for one, but we'll start there. Turnaround times.
Turnaround times right now are kind of a challenge. In non-COVID times, we were between 8 and 12 weeks. And we were running smoothly. We could get trailers done relatively quick, but then shortages started happening.
Yeah.
And it became a snowball effect. And right now we're averaging 20 to 24 weeks.
Okay.
We're investing in finding other avenues, but a food truck, if a food truck will probably be 12 weeks, if I can fit you into the schedule, I could probably get you in quicker because we can get the actual truck. But then we're going to have issues. Okay, what if we can't find the aluminum? What if the equipment's not here? We've had to deal with a lot of delays due to COVID. And I know our clients, they're probably not satisfied from listening to me say, hey, COVID caused this, COVID caused that. And we couldn't offload containers at the ports because there were no people to get stuff off. And so it created a snowball effect. You're in production, you're in manufacturing. Yeah. If I delay one, it delays the whole line, especially because ours is a line. You are in line waiting to get done. When it comes to a trailer, you are in line. Yours is, if this one can't get done, then every single one behind it gets delayed. Mm-hmm. And so we've been having to deal with that. I've invested in a communications manager. We brought on, it's kind of like a project manager, post sales, just for communication, just to let them know every single week where they're at. You are number 120 out of 165 or whatever it is. That's all I want. I just want our customers, because I've been listening to them and they've been complaining about communication. And so we just want to communicate better. So that's what we're going to do. It's been challenging. If you are interested and you are looking for a food truck or concession trailer, we are a little backed up, and be wary about the builders that are not backed up, because every builder in America is backed up right now.
Yeah. Yeah, we're the same way. I mean, it's and going off of what you said about the communication thing, I'm learning, especially in times like this, that I need to communicate more as
Mhm.
well and touch base more too. So it's, if they're in for permitting or whatever, I still, no matter what, if they're not moving really because we're waiting on trusses because those are backed up, or pilings are backed up for us now, everything's backed up. It's a nightmare. But uh I got to continuously tell them why, just to keep them at ease. So when the time does come and they're like, okay, what the hell's going on? It's been 8 weeks for this, 8 weeks I mean, it's taken 2 months just to get trust drawings for us.
Wow.
2 months. It's taken 2 months to get a pile guy out there. Now it's going even longer because he's got to get pilings from Tampa, so which is 3 hours north of us. So it's just, and then they got to pay for the freight now, and it's just one thing after the other. And
Oh
we're
yeah, don't get me
constantly,
started on the inflation and the raising costs. It's crazy.
yeah, and we're constantly having to pivot and figure out, okay, what are we going to do now? We got to order appliances earlier. We got to can't, and they're asking us to store the appliances because they're worried about a price hike there, but we don't have storage as a builder, and
And
it's
your
like,
cash flow gets affected because you have to spend more up front.
yep,
It's bro, it's not.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
preaching to
new
the choir, buddy.
it's a new world we live in. We're constantly having to pivot too as builders, and it's just you're constantly having to figure out, okay, how am I going to handle this and tackle this, because we're in a new age right now. And yeah, they say it's COVID, it's a shipping, it's freight, nobody wants to work, whatever, it's a
It's the
battle,
sum
man.
of all those things,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they all add up.
and I'm
If
giving
you don't
customers.
believe it, you're living in a rock.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. One other thing I want to touch on with you, you say we're continuously learning the skills needed for fabrication, assembly, and creation of beautiful and modern concession trailers and food trucks. So how are you doing this? What are you doing to learn? Get a leg up. How are you doing this?
We implement improving our processes, mostly buying better equipment, investing in better equipment to make better cuts. So we figure out how can we get better cuts, and that will reduce the time, but also make our end product look and feel better. We go away from using outdated machinery. We go away from using products that we know are not going to last long. We go away from getting materials from vendors that don't have high quality products. Um, and we create partnerships with other vendors that, that help us provide that quality look and feel to our customers.
So how you training your employees to stay committed to that vision that you have and that quality? How are you keeping them committed to it without cutting corners as well?
Yeah. So we have a group of team leaders. They're the people that have been developed over
Okay.
time. They are responsible for their teams. They are responsible for the quality work. So everything's inspected almost like 3 or 4 times during the process. We expect quality, and we expect efficiency and speed, which is not easy to do, right? You want to tell an artist to speed up their drawing. You don't want to do that because it's artists, right? It's art, it's artwork. So it's like we have to manage the balance between, hey, you're pushing me, but this needs to be done right. So it takes a little bit of time. So, well, you have the tools to do it. So here are your tools. Let's figure out a way to make it better. Like, how are you going through the process of, for example, preparing for a build out? Are all your materials ready before you start? No. Well, let's make sure to get all your materials right by the unit that you're going to start building, so you don't have to waste any time having to walk 100 steps while you're doing your build out. Does your entire team know exactly what they need to do? No. Okay, well, let's start with assigning and giving them the processes that they feel comfortable doing. And so they're responsible for teaching and delegating their skills to others. And so I tell my guys all the time, if you don't have a second person in command that can replace you, then we're not doing this right. You have to have somebody that can replace you every single day. And so that process is slow, right? Finding quality people is kind of tough. Training people in this process, in manual labor, in carpentry, in plumbing, You can't just pick people off the street and they're going to know exactly how to put something together. And so you start them and they go through a process and they go through stages in our company. And they start at the very bottom and they're going to be like an apprentice of one of the co-leaders. And maybe their job for the week is just to pick stuff up and put stuff together. And then as they start getting comfortable, then they start using cutting tools. Then they start using the drills and the drivers, etc. So me and my co-partner, me and my business partner, we go at it all the time, bro. He's responsible for the warehouse. He's responsible for the team. He's been in the industry for 10, 15 years. And so he knows, like, he could build a trailer with his eyes closed. But he needs to develop a team, and he does it on a single basis. He's just like, bro, let me do my thing, get out of my way, and I'm going to give you a badass product. And they do a phenomenal job. I don't get involved too much in the everyday, day-to-day operate, but when I see an opportunity to learn, I'll bring it up. And the good thing is communication is important with your business partners, and especially with something like this in the warehouse, a lot of moving parts. And so slowly but surely, we've been improving the processes. Like before, we used to manage our inventory on a sheet of paper and in a few file cabinets. That's where we had all the million pieces of screws and nuts and bolts and stuff. Now we have one of the Fortune 500 companies that manages our inventory for us. You know, we've gotten so big that they want our account. They set everything up, manage wirelessly. They know when we're out of something and they just come over and they replace their bins. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, that goes back to, I mean, like you said, the process and how important that truly is too. And you developing that process with all your employees is key. I mean, that's in any business too, but how you're doing it, you get it down to literally the perfect process. Everybody's on the same page. You train them. They all know what you're thinking. You know, we always, and you probably the same way. I always say, I wish I can clone myself and have a bunch of me, but unfortunately, we can't do that. So we got to train people to be that same mindset. It might not be 100% there, but if you can get them 90% there, that's at least, really good. So, but good for you with the process too, man.
Well, I'll give you a clear example. This week, my guys are supervisors. They took it upon themselves to invest in a inventory management system where it's going to help them manage the inventory of the non-small stuff like a hood and a clean water tank, gray water tank, and water heaters with a system that reads barcodes. So they took it upon themselves. I approved it. They're having it implemented next week, at the end of this week, and it's going to help us be more efficient. They reorganized the whole warehouse this week, put tape down, applying 5S. I'd send them one little document, and I said, read this, guys. This is how you put a warehouse together. And it's all related to Six Sigma, and they've been taking that to heart. They've reorganized the warehouse, and bro, we're 4 years in and we're still learning.
Yeah.
We're not done. We're not perfect. We won't be done. It's going to be a continuous process every single day. It's pretty much just like it's Kaizen. I don't know if you're familiar with that word, but it's continuous improvement, 1% improvement every single day. And it's never ending.
Which is huge. That 1% is going to get you to your overall goal for sure. And long term, like you said, be the biggest trailer builder in the country, if not the world, one day.
World, baby.
Domination, right? Yeah. I mean, it's been awesome, man. I always end on, I know we're kind of coming up on time. I always tell this to every one of my guests. We can talk for hours because I love construction, but let's get into some personal stuff to end this. I ask this question to everybody. What about you personally? You have built an amazing company and a brand that continues to grow every single day. What lessons have you learned throughout your journey that we can all apply to our own business or our own lives that can help us grow?
The best thing that I can tell everybody to do, one of the biggest lessons that I apply every single day, is to be grateful for where you're at. No matter what the challenges are, be grateful for the challenges, be grateful for the opportunities, be grateful for what you have, and it'll help you get through whatever it is that you're doing. That's it.
Yeah, it's short and sweet. I mean, but I 100% agree, man. Once you start doing that and you're grateful every single day, it goes a long, long way too. So yeah, love that, brother.
Thanks. I practice gratitude every single day. First thing I do every time I wake up is 5 things that I'm grateful for. It just creates an opportunity. It allows you to receive the things that are out there and helps keep you keen and level. Nothing can phase you, bro. It's just the way that I want to. It's the way I live my life, and I want to live it for the rest of my life.
Love it. Love it. Most people, here's another one I always like to ask because most people ask about your past. Let's hear about your future. So, where will we see Patrick in 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now? Who will you be?
20 years, I'm gonna be ringing the bell at the New York Stock Exchange with Trailer King Builders, yo.
Love it.
20 years from now, man, I hope I'm sitting in a Major League Baseball stadium watching one of my guys pitch in the World Series. That'd be freaking amazing.
Yeah, awesome. So yeah. I mean, I no doubt you're going there, man. You got some MLB guys starting up right now that you said they're in the Dominican, so that's pretty cool.
Yes,
too.
sir.
Last question: what the show's all about? What exactly do people need to look for when building a new trailer and why, or trailer for their business, and why should they choose Patrick as their trailer builder of choice?
One, they got to find somebody that will deliver on what they say they will deliver, and be diligent about understanding your permitting process, because that's super important to make sure that you can stay open. We guarantee that you'll pass inspection, and we're not going to sleep until we get your trailer done or truck done. So come to us, we'll help you out. And at the end of the day, we're just looking to help you. So regardless of if you buy from us or not, we're going to help you with the process. So come on by.
And that's been the most important thing that I've heard out of this whole thing is you and how you're willing just to help, man. That's the thing. Even if you build it or not, you just said it, you're willing to help. So, and that's what's going to get you to where you're going to be, no doubt. I mean, this has been awesome, man. I know you got to get going here and you're busy guy. Last thing I always ask, where can people find and connect with you?
You can find me personally on Instagram at Patrick Bolanos, HTX. Trailer King Builders on Instagram, Trailer King Builders on YouTube. We have an awesome YouTube channel where we're putting out content on how to help you scale, grow, fund, anything that has to do with the food truck industry. You can find it on our YouTube channel and any social media platform. And I also have the podcast, Working for a Dream podcast on iTunes and any other podcast platform out there.
Yeah, I've heard your podcast. Definitely go check that out too, guys. Definitely check that out. And Patrick, this has been awesome, brother. I really do appreciate your time today.
It took us a minute to get it scheduled, bro, to make sure we had the time. But I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate it. Had a good time.
Yeah, for sure, man. Thank you again. And for all you guys listening out there, thank you. Obviously, I only ask for one thing, that you share this, actually 2 things, that you give 5-star reviews only, because that's all I accept. And also comment as well on iTunes. And I will see you guys on the next episode.